Vietnam Weekly News Highlights. Vietnam is raising average floor area per person. The whole country to have 31 airports by 2050. Vietnam finishes 2021 with 2.58% GDP growth. Vietnamese carriers open ticket sales for international flights. Vietnam's FDI attraction surpasses $31 billion in 2021. Remittances to Vietnam up 10% this year to $12.5 billion. Trade rises to new high. Construction Ministry works to avoid property bubble. Vietnam is looking to increase the average housing floor area per person to 27 sq.m by 2025, aiming for 28 sq.m in urban areas and 26 sq.m in rural areas. The target is set in the National Housing Development Strategy for 2021 to 2030, recently signed by Deputy Prime Minister Le Van Ton. By 2030, Vietnam strives to increase the proportion of solid houses nationwide to 85 to 90%, with 100% in urban areas and 75 to 80% in rural areas, and equip 90% of houses with electricity and water supply and wastewater drainage systems. Vietnam's average housing floor area reached 25 sq.m per person in 2021, about 1 sq.m higher than in 2020, according to the Ministry of Construction. The master plan targets that by 2030, airports will serve about 275.9 million people and about 4.1 million tons of cargo per year. In this phase, focus on investing in a number of large airports, playing a key role in the Hanoi capital and the Hochiminh City. That is the content that the Ministry of Transport has just submitted to the Prime Minister, a draft of master plan for the development of the national airport and airport system in the period 2021 to 2030, with a vision to 2050. According to the plan, by 2050, there are 31 airports in the whole country. According to the Ministry of Transport, the country is currently exploiting 22 out of 23 planned airports, including 9 international airports and 13 domestic airports. Viet Airport is implementing investment vision to 2050. According to the plan, will form 2 international hub air transport hubs with regional stature in the Hanoi capital area and Hochiminh City area. GDP growth in 2021 has fallen short of forecasts to 2.58%. Dragged down by the hit it took in the third quarter from the Delta variant of COVID-19. Fourth quarter growth was 5.22%, up from the same period last year, but unable to make up for the 6% contraction in the third quarter, according to data released Wednesday by the General Statistics Office. Vietnam's target of bringing its GDP growth to 6 to 6.5% in 2022, as set in the recent session of the National Assembly, is entirely possible if it can effectively control COVID-19 and improve the supply-demand balance, an official of the World Bank has said. Vietnam Airlines and Bamboo Airways have opened ticket sales to several locations, including the US, Japan and Taiwan, signaling the resumption of international travel on New Year's Day. National flag carrier Vietnam Airlines is offering tickets between Ho Chi Minh City and Phnom Penh in Cambodia, with one-way prices starting at VND $2.5,109.54. From Hanoi to Tokyo, the starting fare is VND $11.7 million, and from Ho Chi Minh City to San Francisco, VND $21.2 million. All flights are scheduled for January 1st, 5 and 9, respectively. The total new, adjusted capital, and share purchases by foreign investors reached $31.15 billion as of December 20th, up 9.2% annually, reported the Foreign Investment Agency. Specifically, as many as 1,738 projects received investment licenses, with a total registered capital of over $15.2 billion, down 31.1% in volume, and up 4.1% in value year-on-year. Other 985 projects registered additional capital of more than $9 billion, down 13.6% in volume. and up 40.5% in value annually. Nearly $6.9 billion was recorded in share purchases, marking an annual decrease of 38.2%. Vietnamese nationals abroad have sent home some $12.5 billion this year, a year-on-year increase of 10%, according to the State Bank of Vietnam, SBV. In 2020, remittances to Vietnam were affected, but they have grown steadily since last year, said a SBV official at a press briefing on December 28. This is an important source of capital to help stabilize Vietnam's foreign exchange market and reserve foreign exchange, he added. About 28% of the remittances was channeled through international money transfer companies, 7% via credit institutions, and 2% by post, the SBV reveals. Foreign trade surged 22.6% in 2021 to a new high of $668.5 billion, despite the supply chain disruptions caused by COVID-19. Exports were up 19% at over $336 billion, but domestic companies only accounted for 26.4% of it. Imports grew by 26.5% to $332 billion, with domestic companies accounting for 34%. There was a trade surplus of $4 billion, the sixth straight year in which exports have exceeded imports. In the new normal situation, the real estate market has recovered significantly, with a trend of increasing transaction volume and real estate prices. However, the development of the real estate market is not sustainable, and the market still faces risk. Therefore, Ministry of Construction has proposed the People's Committees of the provinces and centrally run cities focus on reviewing and inspecting land auctions. Localities also need to review their real estate markets and the potential risk of bubbles or other unusual developments. Hanoi Weekly News highlights: apartment prices in Hanoi will continue to increase. Hanoi stands second nationwide in implementing e-invoices. Hanoi accelerates renovation of old apartment buildings by Q3 of 2023. Opens 6 branches up and down of Ring Road 3. Experts all agree the real estate market at the end of 2021 and into 2022 is still on an uptrend. Housing and apartment prices are forecast to continue to grow strongly. According to data from the Ministry of Construction, up to now, the new supply to the market is only half of last year. Meanwhile, the real estate market is still on the uptrend from the second quarter of 2021. By the end of 2021, real estate in many areas will continue to record positive results in terms of searches, prices, and transactions. As an inevitable consequence of the supply-demand imbalance, real estate prices are forecasted to start a new growth cycle in 2022. In fact, even during a difficult period due to the COVID-19 epidemic, the market still recorded a steady increase in prices in all segments. Accordingly, in the period from the second quarter of 2021, despite the period of isolation due to the COVID epidemic, the Hanoi market still recorded an increase in the price of land houses of up to 28.2% and primary apartments of 9.3% year-on-year, according to JLL statistics. In the area of Long Bien, GLM, the price of adjacent houses and villas has increased by 30% to 50%. Hanoi ranked second nationwide in terms of businesses using e-invoices at an estimated 90% of total enterprises, only behind Quang Ninh Province with 98%. The General Department of Taxation, GDT, revealed the figure after 1 month of piloting e-invoice in 6 provinces/cities of Hanoi, Hochiminh City, Haiphong, Quang Ninh, Binh Dinh, and Phu Tho, accounting for 60% of the number taxpayers in Vietnam and 70% of the number of invoice issuance per year. In 1 month, the number of businesses registering for e-invoices stood over 263,000, or 71% of the total number in 6 provinces/cities, exceeding the target of over 70% by late 2021. According to the GDT, after the launch of the pilot use of e-invoices in 6 provinces/cities from November 2021, the second phase would be expanded to the remaining 57 localities from April 2022. The Hanoi People's Committee has just issued a decision on speeding up the comprehensive renovation of old apartment buildings in the capital city. Accordingly, the city will conduct an overall assessment of old apartment buildings with the establishment of an appraisal council. The municipal government will release an inspection plan this month, with a view to completing the inspection of all decayed apartment buildings in the city by the third quarter of 2023. In early December 2021, Hanoi issued a detailed plan to renovate and rebuild old apartments in the city with specific solutions applied for apartment blocks covering over 2 hectares and those of less than 2 hectares. The plan also contemplates the consolidation scheme for old independent and single apartment buildings for on-site resettlement. 6 up and down branches of the elevated Ring Road 3, section Mai Dike Nam Tang Long, open to traffic from December 27th. 6 branches up and down of the Ring Road 3, section Mai Dike, Nam Tang Long, with a total investment of 200 billion VND, started in October 2020. Each intersection is built with 2 entrances and exits, including a motorized vehicles lane 3.75 m wide, an emergency stop lane 2.5 m wide, and an internal safety strip 0.5 m wide.
Hochiminh Weekly News Highlights.
Hochiminh City seeks to build airport-based urban model in Tan Binh District. Hochiminh City housing developments see green spaces shrink. Hochiminh, Nova Group sign deal for collaboration in multiple spheres of business. $3.74 billion of FDI poured into Hochiminh City in 2021. The Tan Son Nhut International Airport in Hochiminh City faces challenges finding resources to realize an airport-based urban area, experts said at a recent seminar. Aviation expert Luong Hai Nam said the airport had not been developed according to an airport-based urban model in recent years. Now, we are discussing this model in terms of the land around the airport, which is not a lot. But it is worth discussing and worth doing, he said. The expansion of the airport, including the construction of a new international terminal T3, should consider planning inside and outside the airport. This would increase the connections between the city center and the airport, he said. Developing land, transport infrastructure, and urban embellishments are needed in the coming time in order to fully exploit the airport's capacity and efficiently use the land in the vicinity of the airport, Nam said. The city's Department of Planning and Architecture, in collaboration with Tan Binh District's People's Committee, last week held the seminar on planning and urban management of international airport-based urban area models, with a pilot project considered in the Tan Son Nhut Airport area. Due to the increasing prices and reducing the availability of land, many housing projects in Ho Chi Minh City are lowering green space. The city has witnessed rapid urbanization and population growth, but has been slow in developing greenery. Public parks only account for 11.75% of its total land area. According to the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment, green spaces in large cities are a relatively low 2 square meters per person, or a tenth of the rate in advanced cities around the world. In Ho Chi Minh City, it is particularly low at 0.5-1 sq.m against its target of 6-7 sq.m. To increase the rate, besides building more parks, the city also needs to require housing developers to set aside land for green areas. It is imperative the public park coverage in Ho Chi Minh City is increased. The greening trend needs to get serious, experts said. Even high-rise projects in the city should pay attention to creating green areas. Some developers have made financial sacrifices to build parks, and this is being well received in the property market. The Korea Association of Commerce and Industry in Ho Chi Minh City, Hochiminh, and Nova Group on December 27 signed a cooperation agreement covering a number of fields. They will collaborate to organize major cultural and art programs, festivals, sports events, and entertainment activities, and South Korea-Vietnam trade promotion and tourism events at Nova Group's projects. This is expected to create a foundation for developing a long-term relationship between the two sides, building cooperative relationships with members and partners of Hochiminh, and promoting the strengths and growth potential of the parties to contribute to the socio-economic development. In future, the two sides will create favorable conditions for researching and developing cooperation in all fields of mutual interest. Mr. Sean Young-il, president of Hochiminh in Hochiminh City, hoped the two sides would share information and make practical contributions to reviving the economy, tourism, and trade between the two countries post-COVID. The inflow of foreign direct investment, FDI, into Ho Chi Minh City hit $3.74 billion in 2021, down 14.2% year-on-year, according to the Municipal Department of Planning and Investment. However, the investment capital poured into new and adjusted projects in 2021 still remained high compared to the previous year. Of the total, $686.6 million went to 633 new projects, down 33.4% in the number of new projects, and up 7.7% in the capital compared to the previous year. Meanwhile, $1.125 billion was added to 178 existing projects. The average registered capital of a project was $1.08 million, primarily in the fields of real estate business, $214.1 million, information and communications, $206.6 million, and commerce, $123.2 million. Additionally, the municipal authorities also recorded capital contributions and share purchases in 2,289 transactions totaling $1.93 billion.